I'm glad that Kemi, not bad enough, has been given a little fix in reality, but she's going to brush it off like it's nothing, and she's going to keep going like
No,
it
she
goes
doesn't
on.
care. She's a
It's not going to
psychopath.
matter.
She's a
Politicians have
psychopath.
naturally
She doesn't care.
I mean, let's be honest.
Psychopaths don't care. You know what? You know what? Kenny Badenoch will tell you. You insult me. Me, I collect my money.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little sticker. It's just a little stickering for us and a little reality check for her. But I think
Also, Kenny Badenoch, I don't mind. Our show can help you. Just give me small money, please.
Yeah,
all right.
You know, but I mean, like there was a group in Nazi Germany called Jews for Hitler, and they had a newspaper and everything, and they tried to support the Jews, the Nazi movement. By the way, they were all sent to concentration camps and eventually wiped out.
So eventually,
if Kemi Badenoch being affiliated to them is going to help us.
You know what that means? That means that one day when England falls apart during the war, they will send Kemi Badenoch and her children to a concentration camp back to Nigeria. She will learn.
True.
These people will stab her in the back. Okay, before.
It's another political show. And today we're talking about the power plays and politics between Starmer and Kemi Badenoch. I think basically what's happening is that UK's political battlefield is heating up. Kemi has had a fiery showdown with the Prime Minister on the increase in budget for defense. I think it's £13.4 billion that they've earmarked for defense, and Kemi feels that this is substantial, especially when Britain is beginning to close down some of its aid efforts. And with me to discuss that is Mustafa and Kole Williams. You guys are welcome.
Okay, but before we begin on that.
Okay,
but
the first statement.
Okay, Kole, very quickly, if they help Ukraine, then Zelensky will give them the minerals. So then now Britain can warm their children because they don't even have money for heat. Continue, Kole. Yeah.
Okay. so the first thing that Keir Starmer said was probably the harshest part when he said, "I'm going to have to let the leader of the opposition down gently."
Yeah. Okay.
That was actually the best bit for me. And
what was the context of that statement? What was the context? Yeah, what was
the context of that statement was that she was saying that she agreed with something that Keir Starmer had decided to do, and she wanted to congratulate Keir Starmer on taking on her good advice because she had sent him some information on it.
Yeah,
and Keir Starmer actually said that.
In fact, she said it was Keir Starmer's first response to her.
He said he never even registered. He wasn't thinking about, but and then what the other meme, the other body blow was that she's the self-appointed savior of Western civilization.
Okay, that's what I don't understand. So what is
there's a lot of racist undertones in that, but it's understandable.
But what is it? Because under my understanding, she wants him to spend less. How is that saving the Western Empire?
What he's letting her know, because she has a far right-wing agenda, is letting her know that she tries to call herself the savior of Western civilization. And you never say that to any other leader because the other leaders are all white. You won't say that to a black person.
Oh, right-wing.
The ridiculousness. Yeah, just to show the ridiculousness of what she's doing. And I also actually commend that sort of takedown because she's not one of them. And she needs to know that she's not one of them. I'm not saying that if you're black, you're not one of the English, but she's not one of them. I've lived in England, I think, almost as long as she has, if not longer.
For example, Limper Christie is a true British man. He's black, but he's British.
She's not. She went to England in 2010. She's been in Lagos up till then. I mean, 2010 for me is 5 minutes ago. I mean, okay.
Maybe if she had gone to England earlier, her teeth would be better. Go ahead. Yeah.
My youngest sister was born in the same year as Kemi Badenoch. They both have birthright citizenship. The very next year was cancelled because of the Pakistani. I remember the Pakistanis were too many. They were coming in droves and reproducing. Sorry, I'm divesting and I'm not going back into the politics of it because this is where I think it's going.
Let's follow your stream. You're doing good.
And she was very lucky to have just gotten in before that law changed. She was born January, I think, in 1980, 12 months before the law changed. So she's barely, and then even when she went straight back to Lagos. She didn't live in England. She didn't grow up in England. She didn't go through the school system in England, as far as I'm aware. 2010, she must have finished, because if she'd have been what, at 30? You were born in 1980, 2010.
She
How old are
practiced
you?
very hard because she has a good British accent. She practiced well. Yeah.
My sister was born and lived almost all her life in England, and she still has a Nigerian accent. She can switch on and off.
I know. I'm
So
being
that's just
facetious.
fake nonsense. She has a Nigerian accent, just hiding it because she has some kind of vendetta against not just Nigerians, but Africans and Black people overall.
But apparently, she loves Ukraine, though.
Yeah, that's all a nonsense. She's just trying to say, I'm not part of you. She's trying to disassociate herself in such a repugnant way, I feel. I mean, like, we are all critical of Nigeria. Some of us even more so than she is, but not with the same level of toxicity and derision that she does. And also, she also targets the people, not just the leaders. I know we have issues with our leaders, but I mean, the people are great. We have a great people, and we are trying. We're not doing the best we can, but we're trying. There are people that try in this country, so I must commend ourselves for that. I mean, I will not commend the government for what's going on right now until they get there, but that's when we digress.
Okay,
So
let me ask you a quick question. She wants to spend less. Does she want to give less aid to Ukraine or more aid?
I would presume that she would want to give more aid, but I also presume that because she wants to cater to whoever holds the cards, she might decide to swing in the opposite direction and go pro-Trump. The way Keir Starmer is.
What about the Prime Minister? Does he want to give less or more? The Prime Minister. Yeah.
Who's that?
The Prime Minister. Does he want to give less or more to Ukraine? Yeah.
The Prime Minister wants to give, well, he's given assurances to the Ukraine, but I mean, whatever Britain can give is not going to save the Ukraine. I mean, no matter what they're giving, it's not going to be enough. So that's just goes by the way. I mean, basically all they're saying is what we've been doing, we'll continue to do, but it won't be enough unless Britain decides to change their economy and start arming for some kind of war. They're never going to be able to help Ukraine in any kind of significant way because of the cost of high technology weapons of today that you need to take down a superpower
especially since Britain doesn't even have they don't even have money to cover healthcare and UB40s and stuff. I don't know how they're gonna help.
I mean, those javelins are $10,000 a pop, I think. 10 grand a pop for one shot weapon, handheld shot weapon, 10 grand a pop. You know, then they have the biggest problem.
Kool-Aid.
The biggest problem they have is
that's how much Jenny pays per pop.
Yeah. You know, but the biggest problem that Ukraine has is the Starlinks and the satellite systems that Elon Musk controls.
Elon Musk, yeah, he's making money off that.
You can just switch it off overnight and suddenly they're blind. And without them, even in World War II, the British only managed to survive Battle of Britain because they had radar. If they didn't have radar, they'd been wiped out. French didn't have radar, they got wiped out. And they had the very good Air Force. It just didn't have an early warning system. So you can imagine you remove that kind of technology or satellite because knowing is everything. And even when they know where the Russian positions are, they're still struggling. Just to let you know, and now you want them to go blind. You understand?
Remember that Russia has electronic warfare. Remember that Russia has electronic warfare too, so they can jam the signals and stuff too. Yeah.
Go ahead. And the only other country that can help them is China. China is not helping nor Ukraine. So Ukraine don't have any other superpower to turn to for weapons. But Western Europe.
They can turn to God.
Yes, but so it's a question of Western Europe now. Do they genuinely believe that they're under threat? Because if they genuinely believe they're under threat, then they will convert their economies for war. But if they're actually bullshitting and they're just scaremongering and they're just being dicks and then they're going to give out some kind of rhetoric and they're going to calm everyone down and nothing's going to happen. Those are the two scenarios. I will not bet on which one is going to happen.
And also, Kule, how much are they giving? Are they going to give $6 billion or $13 billion?
To whom?
For their defense spending.
There's a drop in the ocean. It's not. I mean,
yeah, but that money is going to go into their pocket. That money is going to go into their pockets, and
no, they don't give money. They don't. No. I fact checked this because I fact just checked this because I saw a lot of things about it. They don't actually give Ukraine money; they just give them weapons and to a value of money. I also thought, like you, that they were giving them cash. They're not giving them cash.
Kool-Aid, this is what I'm trying to say. They're going to spend a certain billion amount of money for the weapons to help Ukraine. What I'm saying is that money that they're spending is going to go into their pockets through defense contractors and come back to them as
no. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not, when they say they're giving them money, all they're doing is they're going to their stockyard and getting weapons out and sending it to them. And then they're saying this thing costs X amount of money. They're not actually giving them any transfer of cash. There's no transfer of money.
I know, I agree with you, Kool-Aid. So what I'm saying is that money is going to still be given to the people who made the weapons, and they will give some of that to the politicians.
No, there's no money, is what I'm saying. It's just the government's.
Yeah. Okay, how were those weapons created if somebody didn't spend money? The British government spent money.
That was years ago. It wasn't even for the purpose of Ukraine. It's like their army surplus.
But there will still be
just loading the army surplus on the plane and sending it over.
But at the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, after they do those things, they're still going to produce more weapons again to refurbish it, and
they'll have to spend money again. So
at the end of the day,
the weapons
they're still spending British people's money, and this money goes.
Yeah, they're spending British people's money. I agree, but they're not spending it in a way that they can get their hands on. The British people now have to spend more money out of taxation to recover the weapons.
But that money goes to the weapons manufacturers, and the weapons manufacturers are in bed with the politicians. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's right, and that's where the direction of that money goes. Yeah, so I mean, weapons manufacturers love this sort of crisis anyway.
Mm-hmm. Very good one. So, what's your thoughts, Afolabi?
Yeah, basically, I feel I really like this a lot because this is a kick up the ass for NATO and Europe because they've been sleeping, and the whole essence of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was, to oppose Soviet aggression. But if you look at them, they've been too dependent on the United States of America, and Trump is the catalyst for this. He has said and constantly said he feels that the NATO allies as well as European countries should take responsibility more and increase their budget for military, which I think is a good thing. They've depended so much. And if you look at this, it's Trump that has actually been the catalyst for this. And if you look at it, but the area where I really don't like is the fact that they have to reduce aid for poverty, migration, crisis, and stuff in order to stump up the budget for defense. But I think it's a good thing. Europe has to take responsibility for itself.
For its own.
Ukraine.
Here's the sad thing. The Prime Minister said that we will spend money so that children who need daycare can get 30 minutes of daycare and they can have free food at school, small money. So what you see what they're doing, they're spending money on defense. And meanwhile, their children can only get 30 minutes of daycare during the day while the parents are there. So it shows that the British economy is going down because they're spending money. They're spending money to aggress Russia, who's not even the enemy. Afolabi, how many times has Russia ever invaded England, Britain?
That is it. And that is why I'm a bit skeptical. You know what? I'm a bit skeptical.
Afolabi, how many times? How many times? Zero.
I'm not zero.
Not zero. Not zero. They fought in the Crimea. They fought in the Crimea. They fought on the same side.
Yes. Okay, but let me give you a number.
They've always fought on the same side.
Yeah,
I feel when the war goes on, they always fight against the Berlin as well. They fought together.
If the European countries are to increase their budget allocations individually, I don't think England should be taking the lead. What of Germany? What of France? Why is Keir Starmer being the one to take the lead? That's where I have a problem.
I'll tell you why. Because Britain and America are cousins. And for some reason, Britain wants to profit off of anti-Russian sentiment. I think it's just business. That's what I think. What do you think, Kunle?
Britain is very much pro-Ukraine. They're unique in that sense.
Okay, but
pro-Palestine, but they're also pro-Ukraine.
But Trump is not pro-Ukraine. Trump is not pro-Ukraine.
No, yeah, but Kunle,
Trump is not pro-Ukraine.
But Biden was. Biden was pro-Ukraine.
Oh, yeah, so Biden was.
Yes, Biden was pro-Ukraine.
These people in Britain are still friends of Biden, and Hillary Clinton and Obama and the former people. So they haven't gotten it out of their head. They still have that same mindset. That's what I'm saying. Continue, Afala.
Yeah, you see, it's a very, very powerful propaganda that they propagate, because what they're saying is that you're invading a sovereign country. But what we don't actually conceptualize and remember is that you have the Soviet Union. It was a union of states, just like the United States is a
and Ukraine
union
was part of Soviet
states.
Union. Ukraine was part of Soviet Union.
It's not like losing Texas. It's not like Texas breaking away or California breaking away. They're trying to, and what Putin wants to do is bring back the Soviet Union. But that requires all these countries having, that's I think, if he wants to do anything more as aggressive as possible, I think that's the limit of what he would want to do.
Sorry to
I don't
interrupt
think
you.
he's interested
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you.
I finished.
Oh yeah, so what happened was after the Soviet Union fell apart, Russia said, okay, you guys can break out. They only tried to bring it back after the Minsk agreement was broken, when Ukraine started killing Russian-speaking Ukrainians. So even if Putin only tried to bring the Soviet Union back after Ukraine had a Russian-speaking president and they started killing people in the Donbass. So it's almost like Ukraine. I'm not saying Ukraine is at fault for being attacked by Russia, but Russia would never have tried to invade Ukraine if Ukraine had not been killing Russian speakers in the Donbass and then say they want to join NATO and put missiles towards Ukraine, towards Russia.
Yeah,
you see
that's the main reason why Russia wants.
What are your thoughts, Warif?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get the main topic for the day.
Yeah,
so I was just
you don't even had a chance to comment on Kemi.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know, this Kemi of a woman, if I may use that word, was what would be a gain for running down Nigeria? It's not as if Nigeria is the worst country in the world. No. She's just trying to build herself image. That's what she's trying to do. Is it that she does not have relatives? Is it that she does not have relatives in Nigeria or whatever?
Far right support.
Nigeria,
it's just a far right thing.
She's to me, she's just being selfish. She's just being selfish and self-centered.
But also, I think she has an identity crisis. I think she hates Nigeria. And
you hate Nigeria, but you have your people there. Nigeria is not the world. You have to let go of some things. You cannot continue.
She's always been like that.
It won't help you.
I think
that means she has that. That means she has problems herself.
It's the fastest route to becoming the prime minister. Any other route wouldn't have made her successful.
Yeah, she's ruthless. She's ruthless. She will sell her family.
Criticize your people and
no. She will sell her family. She will sell her culture.
And it's not that good.
She will sell everything so that she can make money.
Just to achieve her aim.
That's the word. She's ruthless.
Also, so that
it's truly personal. It's truly personal. It's not just political. It's
I think she has an identity crisis. She wants to have white children. She married a white guy. She wants to be named Badenoch. She changed her accent. She's ashamed to be black. Go ahead.
Even if she was a politician, she would still be that way. I don't believe that this is just because.
No, there's something wrong with her. Maybe she had a Nigerian boyfriend.
I won't say it's wrong. That's just some people just come out.
Boyfriend. She had a Nigerian boyfriend who cheated on her, so she's going to show Nigeria.
So what about her parents and her siblings over here in Nigeria?
Are you the boyfriend?
She's our guru. She's like 6 years.
You cheated on her. You went to school with her. You cheated on her.
She's a small girl. She's a small girl with a big mouth.
Though that would be fun, you know.
It won't help her the way she's running down Nigeria. It's just that we have if she wants to attack the lead, let her focus on the leaders, not focus on Nigeria. Focus on the situation.
Exactly.
The situation.
What's going wrong?
It's just like attacking an individual, then leaving the issue, attacking the personality. You don't attack the personality, you attack the issue on ground. So she has to look at it, not attacking Nigeria. The fault is not about Nigeria. It's about our leaders. If our leaders can put things right, Nigeria will be one of the greatest countries on earth.
Let's look at it carefully. The British people funded the Biafran War. I mean, the war against the civil war in Nigeria. They funded it. They colonized Nigeria.
Yeah, the British and the French. The British.
The British made a big mistake. They
because
put
of
the
what they will gain.
they put the Hausa and the Yoruba and the Igbo, which were different nations, and put them together.
Yeah.
And they did it on purpose to destroy Nigeria so they could take our resources. And now she's become their daughter. But she's learning because they're. But look how they insult her in Parliament. She's not one of them. She wants to be one of them, but she's not one of them.
They will just be using her to achieve their selfish aim. At the end of the day, they will dump her.
And she's becoming an irritant because she's so cocky and insultive, and she's getting on their nerves. They really don't know what to do with that.
This Trump thing might turn around for her because she's exactly the kind of person that Trump would like. She's just like
absolutely.
She's just got the kind of personality that he would love.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't wear my Trump hat today.
Asabic.
And the world would be a comical place with Kemi, Badenoch, and Donald Trump as the leaders of the world, with Elon Musk jumping around with his kid telling him he's not the president. Oh, what a wonderful world that would be.
Maybe all of us would start watching. All of us would start watching Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I mean, CNN is an entertainment channel again. I mean, I thank Trump for that. I think he's not doing bad at the moment. Trump is doing okay.
He's doing okay.
At the moment, I have a big caveat. But
can I say something about Trump? Kule, can I say something about Trump?
Home economics, although I don't. That's not my business.
About Trump? Can I say something about Trump? Since he's been president, him, Elon Musk, Rubio, none of them is in America anymore. Whether they are good or bad, they're around the world. At least they're at work. When Biden and Harris were in office, they were just sleeping in their house and doing nothing, and they almost brought us to a nuclear war. What do you think? In other words, Trump may be wrong, but at least he's working. He's doing his job.
Yeah, going around trying to unite to make peace.
He has brought his business acumen to the table. He's saving a lot of millions of dollars for America.
Busy. It's like, for example, Kule, if you own a business and you hire someone, and every time you see them, they're at home, they're not in the office. At least Trump is in the office doing work. It may be bad work or good work, but he's doing something.
Yeah,
The past American presidents, none of them met. If you're the American president, you need to go meet Putin. You need to go. The American president now and the Secretary of State, they've met with Iran, they've met with Iraq, they've met with Israel. I'm not saying they're doing good things, but they're doing their job. When Biden was in office, he was at home drinking Cerelac. You see what I'm saying?
For Trump to end one war instantly, and then for one to even being discussed being ended, because even if he succeeds or fails, there wasn't even a discussion about ending the war. Serious discussion.
No, Trump, Kule, Biden was sending weapons to Taiwan, getting ready to go to war with China.
I mean, a lot of de-escalation is going on in world politics.
Let me tell you guys a story. Guys, let me tell you guys one story. When I was 2 years ago in New York, they were telling people that we may go to war with China. So they were giving videos in New York on that when the nuclear weapons come, you should hide under the ground. Let's prepare for war. That's what Biden was telling me. We don't have that.
And this protection of oppressive power through U.S. aid, that is like a contradiction in terms. Where we now found out it's being used to fund terrorism, that even the drugs that get into Nigeria, they should put them in other boxes and sell them for money. So, I mean, hardly anything. Maybe the stuff that you put, maybe put a couple hundred boxes on the telly that people will actually get. And then the rest is just embezzled. Because they said they were giving fantastic figures in dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars that they were pumping into Nigeria. And I can't see, I mean, all I've ever seen about USAID in the whole of Lagos, I saw a signboard on the way to Ojodu that said
signboard, USAID.
Apart from that, and the stories I hear on the news, I haven't seen or heard anything. Anyone was benefiting.
Let me say this. Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Obama gave money USAID, which funded Boko Haram and terrorism, which destroyed our countries. I don't see Trump. He hasn't done that yet. So until that happens, I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah. Not a penny of that money has entered Africa to do anything good. At least not Nigeria. Not that I've seen. They can't point to anything and say that.
Buhari said that the weapons they were sending to Ukraine were going to Boko Haram. Some of them. Yeah.
But even what they claimed they were sending the money for, what were they sending us the money for? What was the false claim? I'm not saying what they were actually doing. There would have been a cover. If you look at the cover story,
here's the funny thing. They said it was Here's the thing. They said it was for those girls that were kidnapped, those outside girls, and they also said it was.
They said it was for AIDS treatment for drugs, but I don't know anybody that has AIDS that gets
and a lot of it. And a lot of it was disguised under COVID. A lot of it was disguised under COVID.
That's money laundering.
Wow,
that's money laundering.
COVID in Nigeria was a scam.
Anybody that has these things, they pay for their drugs themselves, and whether they're expensive or cheap. I've not heard anybody say, "Oh, thank God for USA that got my drugs cheap." Never heard of it. Yeah. So what else? They don't build schools. They don't build hospitals. There's no U.S. Memorial Hospital. There's no
Medicare.
Chinese
build. Mr. Afolabi just made me remember one video I watched during that COVID-19 that made me to doubt the whole thing. They wanted to arrest the guy that had COVID. They were holding the guy, struggling with him. I said, he's struggling with him. Won't you contact the COVID? I said, this one is just scam. It's not real. It's not as if he's not there. It's there, but they took advantage of it.
You guys don't annoy Lorato. Don't annoy Lorato because he's angry that Trump ended USAID, which is supposed to help people who have AIDS in South Africa.
Asking, I bet you doesn't know a single person. It's all propagandized because I bet you, Lorato, ask him if he knows anybody that's going to suffer because of that. Ask him.
I hope he doesn't watch this show.
Doesn't know anyone. All nonsense. You just see some guy on the video say, "Oh, maybe there's 15 people in South Africa."
It's arranged some set of people.
Yeah, everybody else has to struggle to
do some documentaries.
Nothing suggests that aid from the UK too will not be going in the same direction.
No, it's the same thing. All of this money is being rerouted to terrorism. That's how the Western Empire survives. A lot of these weapons
fighting for supremacy in the war.
Weapons will go to Rwanda so they can continue invading Congo.
Yeah. Say something about they said the USA was putting $800 and something billion or $1 million into Nigeria every year for some kind of weird program.
Story.
You hear about that? So you mentioned it in the other show. You would see something. You would see something.
And Kool-Aid, whether you like Trump or not, Trump has eliminated USAID, and it was a good thing because that money was going.
That was a good thing. That's why I said that he's done well on his foreign policy. That one thing he did on USAID actually was one of the things that make me like him more because I have a natural affiliation not to like him, but I do like what he did there. I do like what he did in Palestine, although I'm worried about what he's going to do after. And I do like what is going on in Ukraine because it looks like a war is coming to an end. Foreign policy is good. Home policy, I don't know what the truth is because all I see is people claiming that they're losing their jobs.
Policy is good and bad. So here's what his home policy is good and bad. His home policy is good and bad. It's good in which he's cutting American spending because America is reaching inflation, but it's bad in that he's cutting it from things which will hurt Black people and poor people. It's bad.
Yeah,
but that's not our problem.
Trump doing those things.
That's not our problem because we're not Americans.
In those countries.
We're Nigerians. We're not Americans.
How much business does America do in exports of manufactured goods? They will do something. I mean, there is a figure for it.
I don't know. It's low. America's exports are low. America,
but it was enough that if it goes, it's not. I mean, even if it's 10% of the economy, it's still going to hurt.
Okay, Kool-Aid, let me tell you something.
Even if it's 10%.
Kool-Aid, let me tell you something. 89% of America's economy is weapons manufacturing, and that's their export. Yeah. So America they don't have a legitimate economy because they're using their whole economy is geared towards weapons to cause wars all over the world. So now that Trump is cutting the budget, he now needs to reinvest that money within the U.S. Yeah.
Well, the economy of war is changing now because we're now having weapons that cost $1,000 that can stop weapons that cost $100 million.
Yeah,
and it's not because it's because it's a cheap technology. It's still cheap
because of
very soon we're having hypersonic missiles that can wipe out aircraft carriers
and drones.
Those hypersonic missiles could possibly render the aircraft carrier obsolete in a day. You have
drones are cheap,
and then they wipe out all of those things.
Kool-Aid, 10,000 drones can do the same damage that a missile does. But they only cost $2,000.
And the pilots will be sitting in a bunker in Nevada. And when it gets shot down, you still have that skilled pilot that's going to fly another drone.
And nobody
you
dies.
You don't have to train another pilot to fly that drone.
Yeah.
No matter how many times
Drone.
you get shot down, they're going to get better every time.
Yes,
Because they're not, you know,
yes,
and
yes.
the person is probably living in America, in a very safe part of America. You're not going to get them.
All right, so that's a very
know,
good show. Very good show. So we're going to go around the circle one more time, then we're going to end. I'm going to start with Saeed. I'm not Saeed. I said Saeed Warif because it has the same sound.
Warif.
What are your last thoughts? What are your last thoughts on Kemi Badenoch?
Well, she should know that she has, no matter what, she has the Nigerian blood in her. Your home is your home. You have the blood, so she should learn to love Nigeria and try to make Nigeria a better place than running down the country. And it should stop attacking the country, but go after the corrupt leaders.
Yeah, but I think the problem is that she's distanced herself from Nigeria thanks to Kunle who dumped her.
No matter what, she's still a Nigerian.
I love her new name.
You cannot run from your shadow.
Badenoch. Have you heard that name? Kemi not Badenoch.
Not bad. All right, so Kunle, what are your last thoughts in general?
I'm glad that Kemi not Badenoch has been given a little fix in reality, but she's going to brush it off like it's nothing, and she's going to keep going. Like,
no, she doesn't care. She's a psychopath.
Politicians
have naturally.
She doesn't care. I mean,
let's be honest. Don't care. You know what Kemi Badenoch will tell you. You insult me. Me, I collect my money.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little sticker. It's just a little stickering for us and a little reality check for her. But I think
also,
Kemi
Badenoch, I don't mind. Our show can help you. Just give me small money, please.
Yeah,
all right.
You know, but I mean, like there was a group in Nazi Germany called Jews for Hitler, and they had a newspaper and everything, and they tried to support the Jews, the Nazi movement. By the way, they were all sent to concentration camps and eventually wiped out.
So eventually,
if Kemi Badenoch being affiliated with them is going to help us.
You know what that means? That means that one day when England falls apart during the war, they will send Kemi Badenoch and her children to a concentration camp back to Nigeria. She will learn.
True.
These people will stab her in the back. Okay, before